and this recording we will be sharing with you as well. Now, formally, I welcome you all on behalf of Deep Parenting, which is DEEP stands for Developmental, Encouraging, and Effective Parenting. And that's what we're going to discuss, that how as parents you can be developing, how you can have encouraging approaches, and how you can be effective in your parental approaches. So it's all about you as parental coach for next 3 days. And we'll be discussing, right, a lot about parenting and parental coaching. Something about DEEP, I told you that we started in 2015. In August 2015, this organization got registered under Society Act as an association of parent coaches. So far, we are India's only association of parent coaches, and globally, we are largest. We are 1,895 coaches so far, working in 16 different countries: India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bahrain, Nigeria, Oman, Kuwait, Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, United Kingdom, Canada, Iceland, USA, Sri Lanka, and Germany. We have strong presence in all continents now. And if we talk about India, we have trained close to 1 million parents, more than that. 11 lakh parents we have trained in last 8.5 years as an association, and almost all school brands we are serving, which includes TPS, Padars, Millenniums, state level and national, international brands. Priyanka is saying that it is not audible. She hasn't joined the. I hope it's audible at others' end.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Right. So that's about us. And I'll start my discussion by having your viewpoint, because many of you are parents, or either you are connected to parents in one or other way. Somehow, being parent, you know that what is the psychology of parent and what's easy and tough in parenting. And as a teacher and as a consultant also, you have a lot of views about it. My question to you is that how many of you think that parenting in today's time is getting tougher and complex? How many of you think that compared to yesteryears, parenting today is getting tougher and complex? Quick yes in chat box will help me if you agree that parenting in today's time is getting tougher and complex compared to those years when we have been raised. I hope we all agree. If we take a comparative view that when we have been raised in yesteryears, and if we compare it with today, parenting is getting tougher and complex. If you agree with this, yes, it is getting tough, it is getting complex, it is getting challenging. I just want to have your views and we can discuss it one by one. If you raise your hands, I'll invite you in discussion. That what do you think? What are the prominent reasons why today's parenting is getting tougher and complex? What are those prominent reasons which made it tough today? Yes, Tejasmita, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I think probably because we are all working today, and both the parents are working, and we are mostly inclined to the monetary value of giving the child rather than the emotional value to him or her.
Wonderful.
And time is a big constant now. Time is a big constant. We try
I
to
take your point.
focus more
I
on
take
the.
your point. I hope
Yeah.
you all agree with Devsmita's point that since we are unable to give time, right, and we end up doing certain mistakes where we try to replace our presence with over deliveries, this guilt of not giving time because parents are working. I hope you all agree.
Yes.
Working parents, because since like if you recall, maybe you may be able to recall, there was a very powerful saying. It says that it takes a village to raise a child. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And today, even parents are not present in child's life to raise them. We are dependent on our helps. We are dependent on digital parents like mobile phones and all. We moved from that era when we were saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and now parents are not present. So I buy Deepsmata's point This is one of the big change taken place in society, because of which this parenting is getting tougher. Good point. Yes, Uma, any other viewpoint you have?
My
evening.
point is little sorry. Yeah, you carry on.
Go ahead, Uma.
Okay. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, Manish. So my point of view on this is becoming tougher nowadays because we are more and more becoming self-dependent, and also we are becoming more uh, constricted. Like right now, we don't live with so many people around us who are our relatives, and we don't go to our neighbors. We don't have that kind of contact the way we had earlier. So exposure to different kind of people for the kids have become lesser and lesser.
And this is very
So that
important
is,
point. I take your point,
yeah,
that we are restricting ourselves to confined relationships. So of course, if we are confining ourselves, we are not giving much opportunities to our kids to be interpersonally good. So that is why this big problem of kids not interpersonally good, not proactive in connecting, they're becoming shy, that problem is popping up. I take your point. Good. Any other viewpoint? Others, please. Yes, Pallavi, go ahead.
I believe that because of the social media, we never in our time we never had the social media so much. So because of that, things are changing. If we are with the kids, if we want to do something, the social media has affected so much of our life that it is affecting the brain of a child. So
Take your
we are
point.
not.
I think most of you will have this point in mind, that technology and media is making our job tough, somewhere at both ends. I hope you all agree with that. So good point, Pallavi. That's also one reason that exposure to technology and media has made our job tough. Yes, Neha.
I also think that family dynamics have changed so much, that from joint family to we have been shifted to nuclear families. So
Absolutely.
parents are working, both the parents are working. So it gets very difficult for parents to handle kids and work together side by side.
So they are unable to balance it. So nuclear families are there. Definitely there are advantages and disadvantages of each family setup. But yes, we moved from our time to this time. We moved from joint families to nuclear families and solo families. I take your point. Bye.
So, and nowadays children are only child, single
That's
child.
also absolutely, that's also very important point. That all expectations are on that child. Maybe that is why we are becoming overprotective, over possessive, right?
Yes.
And that only child also is not getting social exposure, which Uma highlighted. Somewhere we are confined to our own boundaries.
Yes, sir.
Good point taken. Yes, Raji.
Sir, I think we are more aware also of mental health traumas and all with the social media information overload. So we don't know what is right, what is wrong.
I agree with your point that it is overload, over information is there, but the right information is not there.
Yeah.
Over
We don't know
information is
what.
there, but
Yeah.
correct information is not there. That is why our
No.
job is getting tough.
It's difficult to identify what is right and what is wrong.
Absolutely true.
It is something like carrying your Google Doctor every time with you.
Yeah, most of the time they come up saying my child is having this problem, and when we cross check from where you got it assessed, then say Google. We know it. We know it. These are the problems. We know it, and they become doctors. They become clinical assessors. I take your point. Good. Yes. Yes, Ruchika. Your point. You raise your hand.
Sir, Neha has already shared it. Nuclear family.
Nuclear family.
To
So,
add on, it's just like we are like not able to teach the proper values to the children these days. I think so that like, the values which are needed to be a better individual.
which were earlier there.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So we can also say that children are over possessive about their belongings, and the parents are also over possessive about their children. So things are changing, and the trust on teachers is reducing.
Yeah. Others we will say, not only teachers, on other
Sir, I think
it is
what
definitely I take it as a
Monica
point.
ma'am just said, that ma'am, can you please repeat your point?
I said
3 points
children
you
are
got.
the parents are over possessive about their children, and
Mhm.
children are over possessive about their belongings. And the
Yeah, but I
trust on teachers, like I've
Mhm.
been dealing with the
Yes.
with the students and the parents since last 20 years. The trust on the teachers is reducing just because they are becoming over possessive about their children for each and everything.
What I think is that nuclear family point, and it's joined to your point itself, because
It's
the
almost
families
similar.
have
True.
become, yeah, nuclear,
Absolutely.
so they get really possessive. एक बच्चा है, मम्मा पापा है family
They want
में,
to give everything to them,
everything, yes,
whether
yes,
it is right or wrong,
all
but
right,
Only child, right? Nuclear families, confined, and entire expectations to them. So this definitely is triggering. See, like
And one more point I want to add on to this whole thing is that the mental health of the parents itself
is impacted.
is very major factor,
True. And
because parents
they are in anxiety, they are in stress, they have work stress, and even they are getting a very impulsive. We as a parent
yeah.
generation is highly impulsive now. Our patience level is going down because of
I want to
lifestyle,
add something.
work.
I want to add something. Sorry to interrupt
Yes,
you.
yes.
Few points like nuclear family and time. These are one of the, I mean, few factors, comes under few factors. But the reason thing like values. Earlier also, to be very honest, maybe it sounds true. Parents don't used to give times to children, but still somewhere we got the values because the values and culture was in environment and other surroundings. These days, people are becoming so ambitious and technology, modernism, these are somewhere impacting our children.
True.
So, values which our mothers don't have to put efforts to inculcate us at that much. I mean, definitely they were used to inculcate within us, but still we have to go extra miles to inculcate values and these things in our kids. Otherwise, they will learn something else from the environment, social media, and other things. And about nuclear family, single child is somewhere related to their inner happiness. This has nothing to do with their values actually. So the big challenge which is coming for according to myself,
I took
so
your
the big
point.
challenge
I
is
buy
coming
your
like
point.
values, how values and these things. Every parents are concerned about their kids' values, like values and these things, and about career. So which are affecting kids' mental health as well, make them ambitious, and if they don't give time, so they'll tend to learn things from outside. So, and there are so much stuff is available outside with outside people,
I buy
social
your point,
media,
Bhavna. I
environment.
took your point. Multiple things you are
Mhm.
mixing, but I one point which I found different from your discussion, which I can summarize in a other way around. Like when you're saying that parents are ambitious for their kids, they have bigger expectation. One reason for that is competition also, which is growing to another level,
Competition, yeah,
right?
exactly.
The
Which
competition
is
in
very,
society
very,
is
very, yeah.
now on another level.
Most
Now it's not that um they say that it is survival of the fittest. Now they say it is survival of the best, and every
which is
parent expects.
deteriorating actually human
more
values,
than
which is
that,
deteriorating human values actually.
You may call it values,
Competition is
but
indirect.
it is triggered from the environment somehow.
Yeah, it's
When
still triggered from it. Yeah.
when today as parents, I'm sure many of you, your kids may have, and many doctors are there, those who appeared for NEET yesteryears may, and today the scenario is different. Today around 18 to 19 lakh kids every year appear for NEET, and total seats in the country is around 80,000. Around 7 lakh students qualify NEET, but they're not going to get seat. So competition is higher, infrastructure is less. Every parent will be seeking best, not fit. Every qualifier of NEET is fit, but they are not best, and they expect best. So somehow, in every field, when infrastructure is low, population is growing, competition will grow. It will trigger parents to have over expectation, which is anyways quite visible to us. We may call it values. It's not values actually. It is environment which is pushing us. It is, or maybe we need to have a broader perspective to see our kids. If we only define our kids based on marks, we will be definitely having lack of hope, lack of scope with those kids, those who are not performing well. It's more related to the way we look at things. Maybe earlier competition was lesser, parents need not to do so. Now we have to look at it, right? But I take your point. I buy your point. Yes, Kavita? Anything you have something new which you see as a problem?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Good evening. Yeah, actually, I'm a teacher of a kindergarten. So I'm dealing with the toddlers from last 10 years. Right. So I think there is a more challenge when nowadays what I have seen, even I have the same age group of a kid. Now the more moms are more particular about their diet, about their clothing, about गिर नहीं जाए मतलब each and everything they are very very particular, and somewhere I think that mother to mother competition is going on. Right, so which is like, giving more pressure to the kids. Okay, my kid will behave gently. My kid, 2 years kid will sit, silently. Then we give the phone. So this is the thing that we like. Our child will be distracted rather than getting social.
I take
So-
your point. Parents are also attracting peer pressure. Maybe mother to
I
mother,
think it
father
is
to
more
father.
of
Peer
I think
pressure
it
which
is
is
more of
coming.
over possessiveness.
Over possessiveness, over loving, everything is giving over.
See,
Over possessive.
sources could be like earlier we didn't knew. Like suppose if you have a toddler at home and you just opened up your reels and you seen your friend circle is buying some tent house for the kids, and one friend bought, second bought, third brought, you automatically get triggered. Why don't I buy a tent house for my child, whether they don't need it or whether they don't need it?
Very much.
This media and transparency which we have now, we can keep in everyone's life now. Rather, everyone is representing their life, opening up the page of their life in front of others through media, and that is why we take pressure. They are going to this vacation, they are going to this vacation, this and that. We take pressure. I take a point. So peer pressure is also becoming a big reason. Yes, Sauli, what's your viewpoint?
Yes, sir. Extending to the present discussion only. So, like, what I think is like when my parents were working at that time, they did not have much exposure to what is happening in other parents' life or what is happening in their houses. But these days, we are so much into social media, so much into WhatsApp groups and everything. We get to know what is happening in other places, other people's lives as well. And so, like in our generation, we passed through that competitive phase, we reached a level, but now that parental expectation has come up to us that we want the best for our children.
Absolutely.
That pressure we are putting directly, indirectly, I guess we are putting into our children. Maybe if I am not putting, I'm getting parents who are putting that. So that is a common finding. And sometimes I try myself to be mindful parent, but sometimes when I observe my thoughts as well, I find that this is a common thing, that somehow I'm falling into the trap and then I distract myself. So
Over
that is, I
expectations.
guess,
I
that
take
is
your
that.
point. Good. So common viewpoints which we have, it is all over expectations. Maybe we are getting nuclear working parents. That leads to some pressures at our end. Then competition is making it big. Media and technology and over information at all ends, at child's end, at parents' end, is also making it tough. Any other viewpoint you have? Yes, Pallavi.
My viewpoint is lack of right idols, good idols. Idol,
Good.
मतलब कि we don't have, जैसे Modi has come up as an idol for youngsters, but still we lack some character. मतलब value system is also is not there, and a right idol is missing.
Role models which you're talking about. Okay.
Role model, yes,
Because
role model. We are missing a right role model.
Right role models, because now they have so many and they can be attracted towards any influencer or so. So somehow
Yes, like-
media exposure is making it. I take your point. Goddess. Yes, Imani.
Yeah, I would like to say that what I feel sometimes the parents are actually missing the empathy because through what the child is going at that time, the confusion. The parents are confused, but they are not actually realizing what the child is so confused. they are not going into the shoe of their child, and they're not realizing how their child is confused. And second thing, what I feel, the parents are not ready to do so much of labor with their child, so much of hard work for bringing what as per their expectations. What do they expect from their child? They are not working, they're not ready, or they do not have time, or some circumstances are there that they're not ready to work, or they do not have the direction, maybe
I
because
take
they
your point.
themselves are
But the
so confused.
question was, what is different today compared to yesterday? So even in
Compare,
yesteryear
no,
may also there were certain parents those who were not at
yes,
all participating in
yeah,
parenting.
they were not.
Hmm.
I agree, and the confused mind were also at that time were there. But
Yes.
there was some kind of see, directions were less, so the confusion was less. But if we see presently, the lot many directions are there, lot many avenues are there. The children are really getting confused with that also.
Options,
What I
information.
feel,
That is, I
yeah,
take
we
a point.
really need,
Information,
yeah,
overload of information options is making it tough, and time is a crucial element which you have. I take your point. Which earlier was there, now it is not there. Yes, Marga.
yeah.
I will
So
be taking two more
nowadays,
points and then we'll enter. Monica, wait.
so I think,
Marga. Marga.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I am thinking that the every toddler buy one very genius nowadays, but they are not getting same environment. Parents also working, and parents don't know at which age what to introduce to toddler.
Okay.
Uh,
That information wasn't there yesterday as also. Even they didn't know.
Yesterday, mothers are not so working, so she knows she stay with grandmother and in-laws, not separated family. So so she knows how to raise the child. But
I take
now
a point. So
lacking in
means
mother,
broadly,
lacking in
broadly,
parents.
it is related to nuclear
Yeah,
families and time. I take a point.
lacking
Somehow it
lacking
is
side,
connected to
lacking
same
by
things.
the side of parents only.
I buy agree.
Because babies are the blank page like.
वो कल भी blank ही थे, आज भी
So
blank
what
ही हैं.
we provide, yeah, what we provide, there is like that only.
Definitely there has to be awareness. Yes, Anjana, quick.
Yeah,
Please.
hello everyone.
Yes.
According to my perspective, I am having a daughter. She is 2.5 years old right now. What I have feel that in the previous and now the patience level has been decreases a lot when the child is been yelling on any something. So we also start yelling or start shouting on them instead of diverting his or her mind. So I feel that the patience is very much needed in today's
It is at
generation
all
because
ends.
we have
It is
lost our patience
with
very
child,
easily on the
parent.
child, and that is a thing which affect their mind a lot. If we are slapping a child or if we are means if we are shouting on them also, it affect their mind badly. I'm also reading her every day her activities. My mother families belong to joint family, so when she is here, her activity, her behavior, her everything is changed. But when she is completely with me, my husband and my mother-in-law, her activities completely is changed. So I feel that the patience level within the family is very much less now
Two
due
things
to
you are
the money
highlighting, Anjana.
pressure.
You are
Yeah,
highlighting two things. One is patience, which definitely compared to yesteryears, it has gone
yeah,
down. With everyone, you and me also,
yeah,
right? Even with grandparents, parents, kids, with everyone, impulsivity has grown up, which I buy the point. But when it comes to consensus, we had consensus issues yesterday also. We had consensus problems in yesterday also. Today
yeah.
also we are having in like I won't say that it is different, but now consensus problems are increasing.
No, but
And
I feel that environment also affect their mind because
so
when
overall,
a
that's what
child
we
is,
discussed. Multiple points we
yeah,
already discussed. I buy on
yeah, I
those points
already
which
discussed,
are
right.
different from other points, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to wind up this discussion because we got so many points
one thing I would
and
like to say,
repetition could be there. Monica, there is an option over here. I invite you now. Please come, but I request you. There is an option to raise hand digitally, and there are people those who already raised. That is why I invited them. Please go ahead. Please
but
share
actually,
your
I
response.
think the expectation of the parents from children is also increasing day by day.
Yes,
Every parent wants my child to be best in dance, singing, academics, sports. They want them to be all rounder.
absolutely.
and in reality they don't see what actually the child has,
Absolutely.
what
And
qualities.
these expectations are becoming burden on parents, and they pass on that burden to child also.
Yes, sir. Sir, and
Absolutely.
they are not ready to accept that if in any competition, if the child is second or third, they are not ready to accept that thing. They feel
Absolutely.
ki my child
Has
is
to be the best.
yeah,
Parental
suppose it is
ego is going on another level because of
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of pressures which they have, maybe
Yes, sir.
competition, maybe society, peer group, somebody saying my child is first, so I also expect my child to be first.
Why he
It's
has
also
come second? He was singing very well. So we have to tell them that we are comparing all the 40 children. You are seeing only your child. So it is very difficult for the teacher to explain it to the parent that there is a difference between the different children.
Okay, right. I take your point. Yes, Aishi.
Hello, my point has already been covered. I think it was like parents are too much under social pressure,
Social
and
pressure.
that pressure they are passing on to their children.
Right, absolutely
In
right.
short,
Yes,
I just
Tessa.
want to say.
Thank you, Aishi. Yes, Sriza.
Yeah. Hi, Manish. I want to add one point that in today's world, the children are so exposed to digital media and they are so much busy with the digital that they have very less time to interact with human beings and emotions.
Very
Somewhere
important
due
point.
to which the emotional intelligence of our child is going down and down in this current generation. They're unable to handle with the challenges of life.
They're into virtual communication, not into real communication. So they are taking a lot of inputs, unable to give output to it. I take your point. Media has made it tough. A blessing is turning out to be curse for the families when we don't know how to use this media. I take your point. Yes, Kavita.
Yeah, nowadays parents are so occupied in their daily routine work, so they don't want to understand why child is behaving like this. They don't want to talk much. They only just sometimes कि okay, do this जो आपको समझ में आ रहा है. This is the way sometimes we deal with the child. So this is also earlier it not had happened. If I talk about my era, my parents always be by our side. Now they are, but more into in materialistic. If they
Yes,
want
I'll
some
take your point. But it's not about want. It's about I
Right.
buy your point that they don't have time, but it's not what they don't want. It's that they can't.
Right. They
They're
can't,
so
right.
occupied, they're so busy, they have their own stresses. Like what happens, I'll tell when they get into coaching, they cry in front of us that we made mistakes. But the moment they step out, their existing business pressure, work pressure is so big that they forget about their action plans. It's just that its intention is not a problem with parents. The problem is approach. Problem may be their time. So it's more of can't rather than want. I take your point. Yes, Pallavi, quick. Last point if you have, and we'll move ahead.
Yeah.
Class started, yes.
Sorry, you can continue.
Okay, thank you. So we got almost every point we got. I asked this question to you at the start of the discussion? Because all your contributions, all those reasons which you highlighted, that means it shows the parents are already facing problems. And if they're facing so many problems, right? If they have a lot of issues today while raising kids, which triggers them to do mistakes, right? Then they definitely need help. And they actually don't know whom to ask for help. Mostly they ask these questions to their fellow colleagues. And many a time they don't even know there's a problem at their end. Mostly they come up saying it is child's problem. My child doesn't do this. My child doesn't do this. My child is not able to connect with others. They never highlight it's their problem. Right? So, but if we see as a society, can we keep these all questions, all these reasons which you highlighted, can we keep it unaddressed? Will it be automatically resolved? What do you think? If I talk about your aspirations as a parent, all those parents, I need your quick response in the chat box. If I ask you this question, that being parents, we all have expectations, you just rightly pointed out. As a parent, what is that one thing, one trait which you expect that your child must have? Just write in the chat box, what is that one trait which you want that your child must have this trait? Quickly write in the chat box, what is that one trait which you want that your child must have? And I want all of you to read responses of others. So Sauli is saying communication skills. You want wisdom and values. Be specific. Wisdom and value is very, wisdom itself is a very broad general thing. One trait, one adjective which you want that your child must have. Somebody written confidence. Wonderful. Empathy, sharing, kindness, self-motivation, good emotional intelligence, kindness, happiness, acceptance. Go ahead, quick. What is that one thing which you want your child must have? One trait, love, social skills, acceptance, confidence, positive attitude. Go ahead. Courage. Yes, yes. Sharing and caring, strong mind, consistency, persistency, communication, creativity, independence, obedience, honesty, many, many, many you have in mind, I'm sure. And I'm sure if I ask you to read all, in fact, you need everything. I told you to write one, but when you read others' responses, you will definitely feel like, ye bhi chahiye. Even I want courage also. I want my child to be bold. I want my child to be independent. I want my child to be good at communication. Yes or no? Do we have only one expectation? We have many. We expect everything. But is it possible that everything will be there in every child? Can we say that? That every trait will be present in every child. Can we say that? No. And if you really want that your child shall be humble, if you really want that your child shall be confident, you can do a lot to it. If you really want that your child shall be bold, believe me, through parenting, you can do a lot, provided you know what to do. If anyone wants their child to be confident, yes, a lot you can do in your parenting, which will make your child confident. If you want your child to be independent, a lot you can do through your parenting, which will make them independent. If you want to be good at communication, you can improve it during your parental journey. But for that, you shall be equipped enough. Yes or no? You shall be skilled enough to do those interventions, which is going to improve all this. It will not happen automatically. Some efforts are needed. There are a lot of kids, those who are born with those traits, but even they born with certain traits that has to be nurtured. Through our parenting, many a time we snub their traits. Not only nurturing it, we sometimes snub it. There are many kids. Those who are assertive, but there are parents, those who snub their assertivity. You have to listen to me. Don't apply your brain. Do as I said. How can you negotiate with me? A child who is assertive with you, we expect them to follow us. Yes or no? And later in life, you will be expecting that why my child is not an opinion leader? Why my child is not leading others? Why? Because you have raised them as if they are followers only. They have never been allowed to make independent decisions. Absolutely right, Marga. First, parents have to incorporate those traits. And that's where parent coach is going to help a lot, because they can help parents to do these interventions. They can make these parents skilled. They can enable them to do these interventions effectively. If somebody asks me that who is a parent coach, I always tell them that they are those people, those who enable parents to be effective in their role. Parenting, so we all are doing, and commonly we all have same intent, positive intent while doing parenting, but our approaches are not same. We are not, many times we are not skilled enough to do certain interventions. Intent is not going to help us, and that's where parent coaches help. They enable parents to be effective in their role. And if we broadly see, a parent coach is someone who helps parents with parenting challenges. All these challenges which you discussed, believe me, if you are raising a toddler at home, if you're raising a mid-schooler at home, preschooler, if you're raising a teenager at home, you all may have different aspirations and you all may have different challenges. If I ask you, somebody will say that I want resolve. My child is throwing a lot of tantrums. How to improve? Somebody is seeking improvement in child's concentration. Somebody is seeking improvement in child's hyperactivity. And I'm sure many teachers, those who are here, you must be asked so many questions related to child problems during these PTMs. Yes or no? Those who are consultants, they're already getting so many queries. And even in neighborhood, when you sit with your friends, they ask so many questions about their problems in parenting, and they seek these answers from each other. And the one who is seeking answer and the one who is answering, they both are at same page. Even the teacher who is a subject matter expert, even they face a lot of problems being parents. And that's where we need a coach, the one who is going to help them with parenting challenges by offering them an alternative perspective. In coaching, most important thing is assessment. Without assessment, coaching can't happen. Why assessment is needed? Because we all are different. If we all, right now we are around 30 in the meeting, and if we all say that our kids are throwing tantrums, if we all highlight that kids are throwing tantrums, do you think the nature of tantrum will be same?
Yes, it will change. We have to change your perspective.
We have to change the
We have to
perspective.
change
We can't have ready-made solutions. If everyone is saying, "Okay, my child is throwing tantrum," we can't give same solution to all, because each child is different, each parent is different, their family dynamics are different. Many of us are from joint families, many of us are from nuclear families, many of us are working parents, right? Every family is different. How can same solutions work in all families? What worked at my place, what is the surety it will work at your place? So
First,
in
we need
parenting, first we need assessment.
first
Knowing,
we need to know what the child actually needs, because every child is different.
absolutely. So that assessment is the first step in our coaching interventions, and then only we will be able to give a unique solution, an apt solution to the client. There will be no ready-made solutions. And if there cannot be ready-made solution, there will be an apt solution, then we have to have many. If I have only one solution for one problem, then will I be able to give an apt solution to families? I will keep giving the one. And that's where it differentiates a parent coach from an expert parent. Don't mind, but it is different. When an expert parent is suggesting to other parents, they are sharing their own perspective as parents. Am I right, wrong? What worked at my place, I'm sharing with other parents. It may work, it may not work. But when you are a coach, then you need to have multiple perspectives, not only one perspective. Your own perspective as a parent is only one perspective with you. You need to have 100 more perspectives to the same situation. Then only you can help all. And that's what makes an expert parent different from a parent coach. Right? They do assessments, they have all the tools to do assessments. You know, we all are different in terms of personality traits, in terms of our interest, our ability. And there are structured assessment tools which we share with our coaches so that they assess the case better. And if they assess case fairly, then only they will be able to provide apt solutions. So in a very general way, if somebody is asking me that, Manish, my child is throwing tantrums, if you can help me, I can't help. Even if I help, my help will not be valuable. It will not be effective. And that's where professionally this role is different from just advising on parenting. Are you getting my point? You need to have tools to assess, and you also need to have many perspectives. When we all contributed in discussion, when I asked this question to you, and you all contributed, most of you contributed, you've given your own view, When we were listening to each other, we were getting new perspectives. Am I right, wrong? And these perspectives are going to help you, to help your clients, those who are coming from different geographies, different cultures, different environments, rather different personality trait they have, right? And what coaches do, they first assess and then they grow with perspectives so that they can offer an apt perspective to the families. And not only they help in parenting challenges, they also help parents with parenting goals. Somebody highlighted that she has a 6 months old child. So the one who has a 6 months old child, they are still not facing any parental problem. Why she is here? If any new parent is coming to us, they are coming to us because they don't want to make mistakes. They don't have a problem yet, but they don't want to do mistakes in their parenting. They have a lot of parental goals in mind, which they want to achieve through their parenting. They don't have challenge yet. And parents, those who have teenagers, mid-schoolers, even preschoolers, they are coming to us most of the time with a problem, with a challenge. In our profession, 80% clients which come to us, they come up with a problem. And 20% are those parents, those who are not facing problem, but they don't want to have problems in future. That is why they come to us. And this number is increasing, this 20%, which is a positive sign for society. Because when I started my journey in 2010, at that time, it was only 2%. 98% parents were those who had a problem, then only they were going to a coach. But now it has grown to another level. In last 13 years, we have seen a change. Now parent is vocal about their problems. Yes or no? You must have experienced. The parents are sharing their problems. If they have problem, they are seeking solution. They don't know who is going to give, but they try. They try to share. They are sharing with their colleagues, they're sharing with their friends. They're asking at the time of PTM. Whenever they get an opportunity to talk to a teacher, they will be asking them questions because they think they can answer these questions towards us, which is a positive sign, right? And how these coaches are helping these families. When you will be coaching, you will be doing personal coaching sessions where you will be doing assessments and further doing coaching interventions. You will be doing seminars and workshops in schools and corporates, and you will be launching your own course on parenting. That's how you're going to help parents. By your courses, by your trainings, by seminars and workshops, and by doing one-on-one coaching interventions. And anyone who want to see their career in this field, they have to groom themselves in all three ways. In their journey in parental coaching, they need to learn how to do coaching interventions. They need to learn the art of doing trainings and seminars, and they need to learn how to design courses. And we help our coaches in getting equipped with all the tools which help you to serve your clients in all three ways: through personal coaching, through seminars and workshops, and by launching your own courses. Now, I seek your viewpoint on this. Earlier also I asked you that do you agree that role of parent when it comes to child development, if we see child development as a perspective, for child development, role of parent is very important role. How many of you agree with me? Quick response in chat box will help me. If you agree that your role as a parent in your child's development is very important role. I hope if I ask any parent about it, at least they will be saying that yes, my role is important. And a moment ago, you answered this question also. Do you also agree the role of a parent is getting tougher, complex, and challenging with the changing time as the time is changing? If answer to both the questions is yes, then it becomes very easy to understand why there is need of a parent coach. If you believe that role of a parent is very important, and you also believe that this role is getting tougher and complex, also getting challenging with the changing time, then I want to take you back to the history of mankind. All those roles which are important for our society and all those roles which are tough, we brought standard qualification for that role. If we ever realized that role of a teacher is very important and it is tough, we brought standard qualification to become a teacher. Yes or no? As a society, we brought standard qualification to become a doctor if we realize the role of a doctor is very important. And for every important role, we have basic or advanced level training available. Am I right, wrong? Whatever you did, if any one of you is psychologist, if you any one of you is consultant, anyone who is from medical background, teacher, lawyer, architect, engineers, for each role, even for certain vocational roles also, plumbers, hairdressers, we have some basic training available, because we know that role is very important and tough. And the most important role for nation building, for child development, is parents' role. And you just agreed that it is getting tougher and complex. Do you think any training is available to become a great parent, an effective parent? Have you ever got any training from society or so? Tell me.
I have, yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, I was just saying I am from Art of Living organization. So in Art of Living also, there are ways in which the parents and teachers are being coached so that we can handle the student by children. They give
Wonderful,
value
good.
system to
So
the
maybe there are multiple organizations working, but if you see the pattern, it's not there. We are getting into a role initially. When you get into role, first 2-3 months, your elders will come to you to tell you how to feed the child, how to give them bath, how to hold them. Basic training they are giving, how to hold the infant. Later on, nobody will come to tell you how to talk to them, how to correct them, how to motivate them. Nobody is going to come. Yes or no? Right? Yes, Devsmita.
Yeah, I was just telling that I don't have a professional. I don't think one kind of a professional coaching these days has been yet available for parental coaching. But since I'm working in the area of psychology, and it's a part of my passion to give a kind of helping hand to parents in terms of counseling and coaching, because I have been doing it for my students from a long time. So in the process, I'm also learning, and I also try this kind of workshops so that we exchange ideas. And like in abroad we have concepts like, if a mother is going for a maternity period, she's given a kind of training for going through that phase of her life. Similarly, parents these days do need various kinds of workshops now and then, because they are also under a lot of stress and pressure, and probably this helps them if we do it on a
Absolutely.
frequent
I take your
basis.
point, but people like you in 140 crore population, they are very less. It's not made mandatory. It is just optional. You opted. You
Yeah.
opted to be here. All of you, those who are here, you opted to be here. You invested your time to be here because you are mindful parent, right? But most of the parents, they think that I'm a good parent. Who knows better to my child? I know them better, right? And so far, all of us, those who did parenting with the kids, we applied our own wisdom. Nobody came to tell us, you do this, you do that, this is effective and this is not. We applied our own wisdom. Sometimes it worked, sometimes we failed. Yes or no? Many a time it happened. We try to do something else, we end up doing something else. Maybe our intention is something else, but we end up doing something else, because it's not about having good intent. The question in parenting is not about good parenting and bad parenting, because every parent is a good parent. It's all about being effective, being mindful. It's not about good or bad. Your intention, even if it is great, still you can make mistakes. Like if I ask you that has, and honestly you have to give response to it by checking yourself. Do you agree that sometimes unknowingly, unwantedly, and unconsciously, our actions as parents, our behaviors, our approaches may harm our kids' emotions? It may hinder their growth. Do you confess that sometimes unknowingly, because knowingly no parent will do, but unknowingly, unwantedly, unconsciously, we may end up hindering our child's growth, may end up harming their emotions. Possible. Tell me. If it is possible, then it's
Yes,
not
it
about.
does happen.
If it is possible, then it's not about intent. It's not a problem of being good or bad parent. Every parent is a good parent. Doesn't matter whether you are coming from rich class, average class, you're coming from city, you're coming from village. Intent is not a problem. The problem is approach. And problem is being mindful also. Many a time our subconscious brain is acting different from our conscious brain. We think differently, but we act differently. Right? Yeah, patience is also a very important point, but many a time we don't know how to do it. You expect something else, you end up doing something else. I'll give you a few points which will give you some insights about you as a parent and about your surroundings. Does it happen sometimes that you are busy doing something, maybe at office work, maybe your household chores, and you are unable to give attention to your kids properly? You are unable to listen to them properly. Happen? Tell me.
Yes, most of the time it happens when I sit with the laptop or anything. My child start coming to me, Mama, just please take. But whatever I do, if I'm not doing anything, then she's wandering here and there. But once I get a laptop and just sit with that, she starts, because I think child need that you take care of me first, then other things. I feel that what she need, that she don't want that I be engaged in anything else except her.
Absolutely, I take. So that you agree that even right now, when you are attending this class, when you are engrossed in the discussion, maybe your child may need your attention, but you are unable to give because you're busy. Do you really consciously choose? No. I just want your viewpoint on this picture. I'm sure it is visible on the screen. If anyone can read it, what daughter is saying to the father and what father is saying. Quick, anyone?
Yes, most of the time it happens with every parents.
Now the point is, what in this case, if I say, if you just look at this case, a father who is working on the laptop or computer, maybe official work they're doing, child wants to talk. She has drafted something or crafted something on the paper, and she's saying, Daddy, look what I made. And what Daddy is saying, keep on talking, I'm listening. Now you tell me, is he really listening?
No.
Because daughter is seeking eyes of the father and father is offering ears. Is he really listening? If it
To
happens,
acknowledge the child.
is he really
Taking a
acknowledging?
minute and acknowledge. No, he is not doing so, but
I take a point. I take a point that maybe it doesn't take much time. But if it happens, you just agreed that unknowingly it is happening. Many times we are busy, we don't want to do it, but we end up doing it. But if I ask you that if we keep doing it unknowingly even, what will be the impact of this situation? If this is happening with this child frequently, what will be the impact of this situation on child? Tell me. Let's talk about the impact.
A
child
distance
is
will be
observing the parent.
One by one. Yes.
Child is observing the parent and his behavior. The child will pick it up that way.
Maybe tomorrow when you want to talk to them, they may not listen to you. Possible. Yes or no?
Right.
Wonderful. Good. Yes. Any other?
I was saying a distance will be created in the communication.
Absolutely. Maybe the bond between parent and child may get weakened because child is feeling sad. The emotion which pop up when you are not being heard, when you are excited. She is excited to show something. That excitement got snubbed. So definitely it will be impacting their bond. Yes, then?
Creativity will get less.
Their innocence might get affected.
Their innocence may get affected. Their excitement is being snubbed.
creativity will get less because once she's saying and seeing that no one is observing her creativity, then she will left doing that.
She will stop taking initiatives if you are not encouraging their initiatives. Wonderful, good.
Yes.
Yes.
So what should be the solution?
I'll
How
come
the
to it.
parents?
I'll tell you the solution also. But let's first see, I'll tell you, Priya, very interestingly, we need to understand the frame. Frame is, if you don't define it as a problem, people are not ready to apply solutions if they don't know the impact. Most of the parents take it कि चलो कुछ नहीं हुआ, फिर क्या हो गया, बच्चा ही है, कोई बात नहीं, दोबारा टाइम दे देंगे. It's not about fulfilling that gap. It's about how you are discouraging their initiatives. She may not even draw next time if her initiatives are not addressed well. And it's a proven concept. There is a concept called Erik Erikson's concept, psychosocial development model. I'm sure many of you studied it. That highlights that in preschool, 3 to 5 years of age, if you don't appreciate their initiatives, if you don't allow their initiatives, they get into self-doubt. They stop taking initiatives. Even if they grow to 30 years of age, even if they have potential, strengths, still they will remain in self-doubt. They will not take initiatives. But do that parent know that harm? Do they really know it? Tell me. And if I ask this father that, do you really want to give your child a bad feeling, sad feeling? Do you really want to harm your child? The answer will be?
Yes.
No, it's not their intention. The intention is not wrong. They
No,
don't.
yeah,
You know, I think the fathers of like basically in India also, if you talk about our culture system is like that, fathers are conditioned to be like that. कि बड़े होके फैमिली हो गए या फैमिली के बाद हमें अर्निंग करनी है, सो द एक्सेप्ट उनको अर्निंग के अलावा ऑफिस के अलावा और कुछ दिखता ही नहीं है.
See, I'll tell you, I take a point. It is truth of society, but is it right? Is it appropriate?
So in that case, I think fathers are the ones who really need that coaches or that seminars who should attend.
And leave. That is why I asked this question to you, all the mothers. Even you, many of you agreed that you did it. Yes or no? Maybe father may be doing this mistake more, but many of you agreed that you also unknowingly did it. When you are doing your
Mothers are also doing this.
your
Mothers
office
are also
work.
doing this.
So I'm not getting into gender biasness. I believe both are parents, both have to do. Maybe one is doing more mistakes, the other may be less. But when it comes to this, it's not that we haven't done it. Even we did it unknowingly, not knowingly. Consciously, so even parents that the father will not be doing it. It's just that maybe what you're right, they don't know their role. It's not in the definition, or they are so much pressurized with their objectives of life. I have to earn and I have to all the work I have to do, and they are so engrossed in it that they are unable to focus. If you ask this parent why they are doing so, the answer is prioritizing. For them, what she brought is less important than what they are doing. That is the truth. If you are doing some work and you are unable to give time to your child, it's not that your intention is wrong. It's just that the job which you have in hand has occupied you. That is comparatively more important than child's task. And the situation will immediately different, even if it is father. The situation will immediately change if this daughter will come up with the wounded finger. If she would have come, say, Papa, see, my finger got hurt. It's bleeding. Then do you think the situation would have been same? Tell me.
No, it would have changed. He would have looked back.
Why? Because priority got changed. It's our brain actually, subconscious mind. We deal with kids with adult mindset. Right? And from adult perspective, this father see what she brought is small for a parent, and what I'm doing is more important. Until the time you keep thinking that way, 90% chances are there, they will come up with small things. They will not have big things. They are young kids. They will have small things. 90% we will keep ignoring, because 90% time they bring small. So it is the problem of the subconscious, where our mind works this way. where we have already given narrative to ourselves. What I'm doing is more important. But we need to know, if you don't listen to the small talks today, be ready. They're not going to listen to your big talks tomorrow. Now, if we just leave the adult perspective and see the situation, maybe for that father, laptop wala work is more important. But see from the child's perspective, what she brought is an accomplishment for her. It's pretty big for her. For her, it's an accomplishment what she drawn on the paper. Do you think she will bother about it, what you're doing? If we see from child's perspective, would you be able to convince that child about your work when they are enthusiastic about sharing something which they've drawn? For them, it's an accomplishment.
At very young age, sir, it is very difficult, but as they grow up, maybe they'll understand if we tell them in a proper
Even I'll
way.
tell you, when somebody is excited, at that time they will not understand your logics.
True,
Even
sir.
if it's a grown-up child. This is excitement. She's drawn something. She said, Papa, look what I made. It's an excitement. It's an enthusiasm. And that father immediately snubbed it. Because the father is thinking from adult perspective. Okay, what I'm doing is more important than what she brought. And the scenario will change if she would have brought a wounded finger. It's not about importance of work. It's about our subconscious. And we can change it. We can improve it. We can improve it by consciously feeding our mind the decision that whenever my child is around, I will be conscious about my child's presence. And believe me, even if you are very busy, you can give some 5 seconds to at least address the emotion of child. You may not see the craft or draft, but you can at least address the emotion. The excitement can be addressed. The moment she said, Daddy, look what I made, how much time it would have taken if father would said, oh wow, beautiful, I want to see it properly, give me 10 minutes, give me half an hour, give me 1 hour. Kitna time lagna tha isme? If I say, wow, beautiful, this is so good, I want to see it properly, give me 30 minutes, I'll just come back to you. And if I keep my promise. इसको बोलने में कितना टाइम लगना था?
Half a minute.
Not even half a minute, 10 seconds maximum to address that emotion. And you can give 10 seconds. No work is that which can't give you 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Sometimes, if I'm attending a class, if my child is moving around, if I just wave them, we are respecting their presence. We are addressing their presence. We respect their presence. And that's it. This is the mindset. That at least I'll address the emotion. At least I'll address their presence. It's enough. And always giving us a narrative that what they brought, if we start empathizing from their perspective, that what they have is not small for them. It's pretty big for them. When they talk about their friend, you know, Papa, what happened today? This happened, this happened. For Papa, it may be a small thing. If Papa thinks from Papa's perspective, if Mama thinks from Mama's perspective, definitely what they're discussing is small. But if you see from their perspective, it's pretty big for them. And if you are ignoring their big talks, do you think they will be listening to your big talks tomorrow? And any parent today who come up telling me that my child is not listening to me, we always question the bond which they carry with their child, the kind of communication they have with the child, how much time they're giving to the child, how they are talking to their child. Because if your child is not listening to you, something went wrong with your listening. Are you getting my point? If anyone thinks child is not listening to me, then something went wrong with your listening with them. And you can improve it by being conscious, because you are not choosing it knowingly. It's your subconscious pattern. And if you really want to change it, you have to be conscious next time. Next time when your child is around you, if they are around you, stay conscious that I'm going to give attention to my child. I will be conscious about my child's presence. Understood? And when you promise that I'll come back to you in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, keep your promises. That's very important. If you don't keep your promises, they don't trust you. That's also an important point. Right? Now, what I'm highlighting, I'm not anyways giving solution to you. Solutions, so we will have detailed discussion on listening, communication, and all. But what I'm highlighting to a parent that there are a lot of things which you don't choose to do, but you end up doing. And one of that, another thing is this. If I ask this question to you, that all the parents, those who are here, how many of you want your kids to be independent early in life? How many of you want them to be bold? Quick yes in the chat box or no in the chat box. I'm sure there's no if we ask this question to parents. We all want our kids to be independent in life. We don't want them to be dependent on others. We want that they shall get independent early in life. But are we really making them independent through our parenting? I'm asking this question to the society. Every parent will say that my intention is to make this child independent, but are we really making them independent? Certain researches highlights, samples highlights that 65% parents, those who are in urban and semi-urban areas, 65% parents are doing overprotective parenting. They are doing helicopter parenting. They keep doing those things for child which child can do according to their age for themselves, but they are not allowed. Somebody else is doing it for them. Out of love, out of care. All those things which they can do for themselves, they are not allowed to do because somebody else is doing it for them. Yes or no? Are we really making them independent? This water bottle, a 4 or 5 years old child can open. The moment child tries, we don't allow them to try. We go and open up the bottle for them. They want to get into the car. We don't help them to get into the car. We put them into the car. We hold them, put them into the car. Are we really making them independent? Tell me. There are a lot of, even a 2-year-old child can be independent, provided they are allowed to do all those things which a 2-year-old child can do according to the age.
Independent in what sense? Physical independence or thinking independence?
The definition of independence is not connected to any specific age. It says that anything and everything according to the milestones. If a 3-year-old child can do certain things according to their age, if they're allowed to do and they're doing, they're independent. If 3-year-old child can independently eat, if it according to their milestone, it is recommended a 3-year-old child can eat. And if they're not eating, they're not allowed to eat. You have kept your child dependent. You are postponing their independence. If a 4-year-old child can get into their school bus independently, but you're still doing it for them, you hold their bag, something that they can do, but they are not allowed to do. What we are doing, we are postponing their independence by saying, "Abhi to chota hai, abhi to chota hai, bada hoke karega,
गंदा कर देगा,
ganda kar dega," right? Bada slow karta hai ye. I have to do it fast.
गिर जाएगा.
And many are there, those who feel the job of parent is to do this. It is the call of parenting. Doing things for the child is parenting. When they don't do things for the child, they start getting into guilt. I've seen parents. One of the corporate trainer. She was into a job and she came in our training and she shared that I took sabbatical, right? And for my child after the birth. And the moment, and mostly it happens with those parents, those who actually take off or those who are non-working, they feel like their only job is to do things for the child. And that mother told one incident, you tell me up to what extent it is right. She said, one day, the child was 4 years old. She said, one day I was dressing my child. And while I was dressing my child, t-shirt I was putting onto my child. So in the meantime, I realized कि मैंने दूध रखा था किचन और वो उबलने लग गया. She immediately left the child in between and she rushed towards the kitchen. और kitchen से knob बंद करके when she came back, तब तक वो बच्चा अपनी t-shirt खुद पहन चुका. Is it a matter of good feeling for a mother, or is it a matter of guilt? Tell me. Good. Tell me. What do you think? Is it a matter of good feeling that the child had their t-shirt at their own independently, or it is a matter of guilt for a mother?
Guilt.
Is it true? A 4-year-old child can, agar usne pehn li apni t-shirt, so what's wrong with it? The mother got into, she said, I got into guilt. कि मैंने ऐसा क्यों किया, मैंने अपने किचन में दूध क्यों रखा when I was dressing my child. उसे खुद पहनना पड़ गया. She got upset that my child had to wear the t-shirt at their own. But if you really think so, then you can't make your kids independent. You are postponing their independence. Your intention may be to make them independent, but you are making them dependent on you. Rather, it shall be appreciated. Absolutely right. It shall be appreciated, but she got into a guilt. Okay, what is the fun? Why I took off from my job? My job is to help my child in all the ways, and we keep helping. A lot of things we keep doing it. A lot of things. They want to climb. They're trying to climb. Out of fear, what we'll do? हम उसे पकड़ेंगे, जहां पहुंचना वहां बिठा देंगे. The entire process of climbing, we stolen it from them. Are we really making them independent? No. Helping is different from doing. We don't help, we do. Helping, maybe if child is unable to open up this water bottle, you may loosen it up a bit so that they do it at their own. But what we do, we open up the bottle. If they are unable to open up their lunch box, instead telling them, कि बेटा यहाँ से open करो, यहाँ से करो, rotate your hands, then you will be able to open up your lunch box. No, we just do it for them. If child is trying to get into the car independently, we are just not giving them support to get into the car. We hold them and we put it in the car. Is it really making them independent? Tell me. No. And if you ask them why they are doing it, out of love, out of care, out of speed, impulsivity, and they will not be able to stop it until they get conscious, because they are not doing
One more
it.
reason I would say,
Yes,
sorry
yes.
to interrupt you,
Please,
one more
please go ahead.
reason they assist their children, because when we have to train someone, it will involve a lot of mental work. So instead of we prefer to do more physical work than doing any mental work. So when we have to train anyone, definitely you have to involve a lot of mental work. So that's why to refrain from this, mothers usually do their work on behalf of them.
I take your point, especially with grown-up kids, those who are into coaching classes. No, you shall not get into it. We'll do it. I take your point. That is also some certain this, and there are parents, especially when they have young kids, they also have a fear of failure of child. गिर ना जाए, ऐसा ना हो जाए. They shall not spoil their clothes. They will be spilling the beans. That is why we keep feeding them. You must have seen parents, they keep feeding their 10 years old kids, 8 years old kids. They are not in the habit of eating along with the kids. A mother is not feeling that my job is to eat along with the kids. They start feeling like my job is to feed the child. And they keep feeding. A child who can eat independently, provided if we allow them, provided if we eat along with them. The same child is eating in school independently, but not at home. What's wrong with it? So is it child's problem or parental problem? And Abida, the point which you brought, in some cases it is not parents, it is grandparents those who do mistakes. This answer you will get tomorrow when we'll talk about who's a parent. Because we are not defining parent as biological parents only. For us, parent is all those who are involved in upbringing of child. It doesn't matter whether it is grand or non-grand, right? Even they have to learn. If they are involved in parenting, they need to know this. What I'm discussing, if it is a perspective, it's not only to be known to a one parent. If you as a parent over here and your spouse is not knowing it, then things will not improve. I think every parent who is involved in upbringing of child need to have the perspective. Yes or no? Otherwise, we'll keep doing things in the other way around. We keep reflecting disagreements, lack of consensus. Right? I'm just highlighting that there are a lot of things which we just don't choose, but we end up doing it, not by choice. right? This is also an interesting perspective. Does it happen that we get angry and we start correcting them then and there on the spot? A human perspective, we have a tendency to catch kids doing wrong things and we choose to correct them on the spot. Do you agree on this? Abhi, at this point of time, if your kids are doing a mistake, you will definitely feel triggered to correct them there and then. Yes or no? Because that is how we are. We act supervisor. And now when you correct, and I'll give you a perspective only, though we will be discussing in detail about it, which the concept which we have so far when we raise our kids, the approach which we are using is carrot and stick method. Do good, have good. Do bad, have bad. And while doing it, because anyways, we have received it. When we were young, whenever we did mistakes, we have been treated. Yes or no? We have been treated with anger, slaps. Sometimes parents were only looking at us in a way that it was enough for us to get to know. Punishment and negative reinforcement was one of the tools at that time, which today we don't want to use, but we end up using it. We don't want to use it. And one mistake which we do is, the moment we get to know child has done the mistake, we choose to correct them then and there. And that's the biggest mistake which we ever can do with any relation.
Yes.
Why? Because the moment you will catch your child doing something wrong, or moment somebody will inform you, give you information that your child has done a mistake, at that point of time, tell me, will you have positive emotions or negative emotions? Tell me. The moment you caught your child doing a mistake, a blunder, or you got an information that your child did a mistake, at that point of time, will you have negative emotions or positive emotions? Quick response. Yes. For sure, negative. Sure, there will be no positive emotions. It will be negative. And what will be the extent of emotion? That totally depends on what type of mistake it is. If it is small mistake, small emotions. If it is big mistake, there will be big emotions. You may be angry, you may be frustrated, you may be irritated, you may be fearful even. In some situations, we get fearful also. कि बच्चे को कुछ हो तो नहीं गया? Yes or no? And if you are under the impact of strong emotions, and at that point of time, in that mindset, if you choose to correct your child, will you be reacting or responding? Will you be reacting on your child or you will be responding to the situation? Of course, reacting. And reactions are always out of control and responses are well planned, well in control. And when you will react, when it will be out of control, it will be much more than required. इसीलिए कई बार after behaving in certain way, after acting in certain way, after your treatment with your child, we start feeling bad. Had it ever happened with you that after treating your child, you felt bad about your actions? Why I have been that loud? If yes, then you never chosen it. You didn't wanted to do it. You know what is right and wrong. That is why you get into guilt, because you know what is right, what is wrong. It's just that you were not in your control. And why you were not in your control? Because you chosen a wrong time to correct. Why? Because we as society, we have been given a narrative: strike when the iron is hot, strike when the iron is hot, strike when the iron is hot. And we keep doing the same everywhere. Whenever mahal is garam, strike. Whenever there is a mistake, strike. And striking when it is hot, it definitely works on shaping the metals. But it doesn't work in shaping the kids. It doesn't work in shaping the behaviors. It doesn't work in shaping the characters. Rather, we spoil our relationship as well. It's always advised to postpone corrections, but we do it ulta. We choose to correct there and then. और ऐसा कभी नहीं हो सकता कि we will say कि I will not have emotions, I will not be angry, I will not be frustrated. ये तो कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. Emotions, so we will surely have, good or bad. But the only thing which we have to decide is, when I know I am under the impact of strong emotions, I choose not to correct my child. And you will see your corrections will always be in your control. And this problem is not only in parenting. This principle we apply on all relations. And that is why we spoil our relationships. Whenever we are angry, we choose to do something. We choose to treat them, negotiate with them, correct them. Not a good time. Understood? A perspective. And there is a very powerful tool. A very powerful tool which actually trains parents how to convert carrot and stick approach into award and ignore. It's amazing tool which you've never been trained on. If you really want to learn that concept, what you can do, though we will not be discussing it, it's a around 3-4 hours discussion on concept of award and ignore. But I can give you that you can learn about it. There is an app which is of deep parenting, which is available on Android Play Store. Download that app. The name of app is Deep Parenting. And if you really want to learn how to correct the child without being punitive and without negative reinforcement, how to use positive reinforcement to correct the child or to encourage the child, go on Play Store, download this app, and in this app, there is a category. There are multiple training programs free of cost available, and there is one category called Update to Upgrade. And under that category, there are 10 training programs available. One of the training program is, the training name is Courage to Encourage. Just go and watch it. Believe me, you will love it, love that training. Courage to Encourage. It is on the concept of award and ignore, which is based on a popular book called Well Done, if you have heard of it. Well Done. Very powerful book. Go and read this concept. Go and watch this video. And you will get ample knowledge about how to correct people without being punitive and without negative reinforcement. And that's where they talk about timing of correction. Book name is Well Done. If you want, I can give you. Well Done. Right? Just a perspective. Do we really want to do it? No. But we end up doing it because our responses are in control, but our reactions are not in our control. Have you seen parents? Another perspective to it. Why I'm sharing with you? I want to establish one fact in any parent's mind, that it's not about being good. It's about being informed. What's right, what's wrong. It's all about being mindful and being effective. How many of you have invested in certain gadgets for your child, especially gaming gadgets? How many of you? Anyone? The one who invested in any PlayStation, Xbox, or if you have seen parents in your surroundings, those who have gifted mobile phones and PlayStations to their kids. Have you seen? There are many around us. Excuse me. When you go and ask those parents that why you gifted these gadgets to their kids and why you bought some PlayStations or Xbox for your kids, what probable answers they will be giving? What do you think?
To engage their mind.
To engage them. Absolutely. What else?
And I have provided my child activities, things from a very early, as she was 6th and 7th month old. So I have just provided the cubicle box and
I'm talking about gadgets. My question is related to gadgets.
Okay,
Gadgets.
no, I have
Maybe
not
a mobile
provided.
phone, a
You know,
tablet, or a.
I have not given my child a phone. She don't know the mobile phone.
Have you seen parents doing it?
Yeah.
Sir, mostly it is because the parents are busy and they want the kids to do something interesting so that they don't bother the parent and they
Absolutely.
give the
They are hiring They are hiring a babysitter, a digital babysitter, because we are busy. Somebody else will engage them. And what better than a digital parent? So mobile phone, a gaming console, a PlayStation, that's also. And one more reason is there, which they come up, that my child will be deprived of the entertainment which world is getting. All their friends have gadgets. Why don't my child shall have? Yes or no?
Yes.
The parents' peer pressure also making them do mistakes. Everyone
Yes.
is buying tablets for their kids. Why should I buy? Everybody, every friend is having this PlayStation. Why should I invest in PlayStation? Yes or no? These are the reasons. But whatever reason they have. Do you think any parent is having any bad intent while gifting those gadgets? They want to harm their child intentionally? Do you think?
No.
No. Anyways, they don't have any negative intention or bad intention. But the gadget which they have gifted, or the PlayStations which they have given, Xbox or PlayStation, if we go scientifically and if we understand how the fast reflexes videos and fast reflexes video games, how it is impacting the brain waves of child, and what is the permanency of this damage, if we scientifically explain that. There are a lot of researches which highlights when you play certain games, when you watch some fast videos, and if you do EEG of the child while playing those games, many of doctors are there, those who know that brain waves can be measured through a clinical assessment called EEG, right? In a very graphic representation, the way you get ECG done for heart waves, same way alpha, theta, beta, gamma, many brain waves are there which can be mapped through an EEG. And when you do that EEG of a child who is watching these videos, fast videos, 3D view videos, 3D video games, their brain waves get disturbed. Maybe initially it's a temporary impact, and gradually the permanent impact will be that their brain waves get highly volatile, it get disturbed. And what happens? When a child's brain waves are disturbed, they are unable to focus and concentrate, and that becomes a lifelong problem. Mental hyperactivity, they term it. Clinically, they call it the state of mental hyperactivity. And if it is get worsened, then it turn out to be attention deficit disorder, ADD. And furthermore, it can attract a lot of other problems if coupled with some other problems. Do parents really know the damage? Halaki, I haven't explained the damage. We explain it in the programs. But do you think these parents are aware of what is the impact of these engagements on child's brain development? If they don't know, they may end up gifting it. If they know, at least they will not gift. If you get to know and you haven't yet gifted the gadgets and you know the damage, you will not be gifting it. At least you are not the source who will be introducing these gadgets to them, provided you know the harm. And today the lifestyle problems which we are facing, it's just because of those inappropriate visuals and reflexes which they are getting. We are not questioning parents' intent. Its big question is on information. Are we really informed? Are we really aware of all that what we are doing? Do we really know the consequences of certain things? If we don't know, then believe me, we will not be able to stop it. The damage will keep happening. And it's all about being mindful. It's all about being effective. We don't know the even rules. If we know the rules, we'll be able to manage it. Right? Understood? Many a time we disagree in front of child. Happens knowingly or unknowingly. Do you really choose to? Even a 2-year-old child knows which job to get done from which parent. Yes or no? They preferably choose. And now I have to go to mama and now I have to go to papa. Yes or no? Do we really want that we shall disagree? It's a natural disagreement. We keep reflecting in front of child. So the question is not about what we do. It's all about how we do. What though is already going wrong? How is going to improve it? And in this coaching journey, the most important thing is how. What I'm right now telling is what's going wrong and what's going great. But that's not more important. Important is how to move from wrong to right. Yes or no? What I'm
I
sharing
think
is,
for that we have to improve ourselves if we want to
Yes, yes.
improve our child.
First is acceptance. The first point is accepting.
Right.
Until I accept, if I keep believing that things are not going wrong, right, then we'll not be able to change. The moment you accept it, then only you will be able to change.
Correct.
Acceptance will help. And first, once you accept, then after acceptance, then only you will be ready to change. And you need the source also, the one who will be telling you what is right and what is wrong. Are you getting me? We need a source also. Understood? Right now we are discussing it. If you haven't seen it from that perspective, you will not be thinking on that. We keep believing what's going on is absolutely right because we go by our intentions. Intentions are always positive. It's never wrong. So after acceptance, you need to know the source of right information, which will help you to move from wrong to right. And there's always possibilities to improve. Always, in each age, there is possibility of improvement. Halaki, the best age is young age, because if you get to know about probable mistakes in young age, you will not be doing mistakes. Right? Understood? Got it?
And I think that we should cultivate spiritual things in our child more, so that they can be more peaceful. They will be more ethical also, and they will get to know what is good and bad. Once they start reading the things and knowing about the spirituality and all, it affects their mind also.
See, I'll tell you, this is definitely an advised engagement. But only this will not help. It is one of the advised engagements. There are a lot of other engagements which need to be there, which need to be effectively done. It is true, if you engage your kids into spiritual activities, they will definitely be defocused from what's bothering them. At least they are into healthy engagements. But at the same time, there are a lot of things which we need to do in the right way. We are in a commercial world. We are in a very cosmetic world. We have to live in that world. And when we are in that world, possibilities of mistakes are many. And if possibilities of mistakes are many, we need to be aware.
Yes, we need to be aware of every time, all the time.
And that's what we're discussing. When we are talking about the role of a parent coach, it's not to correct parents. It's just to show them a new perspective, another perspective. It's not about making them feel bad that what you're doing is wrong. By intention, though, they are not doing it. It's just that they don't know. Are you getting me? When we tell those parents the harm of those 3D view engagements, then they feel bad about self. We don't say that you need to feel bad. Why? Because it is not intentionally you're doing it. It's just that we are not aware. And the more we are aware, the less we are going to do mistakes. Right? So far, my today's discussion was dedicated to one part, that we shall get to know first that why it is important and how it is important to have a coach, how they can help you. There are many areas. Any parent who believes that I know my child better, it is true that you know your child best, but you may not know best about the parenting practices. That a coach knows better and they can help you a lot. They are not going to correct your existing approaches. It is you who will be correcting. Their job is just to show the new perspectives to you. And that's what we are doing. So far, if you got a new perspective, any new perspective, it was not to correct you, it was just to share it. The moment you start thinking from that perspective, the same moment you start changing. Understood? Clear? Any query so far on this? There's a lot more coming up in next classes. But before I wind up today's discussion, if you have any queries related to today's point, any discussion, any apprehension.
I want to ask that
What is there for tomorrow?
Psychology, you have to read the psychology, child psychology and all.
See, it's always advantages. It's not mandatory. When you are getting into coaching, especially into parental coaching, most of the topics which are related to child psychology, and if it is important for coaching perspective, we have already incorporated those topics in our programs, right? Coaching
I have
programs.
a question, sir.
And
I
just
have
a
a
minute,
question.
just a minute, Vijay, I'll invite you. Let me ask Sanjana, answer. And second, even legally, it is not a binding. When we use coaching as a term, when we say I'm a counselor, then I need to have a degree of psychology. But globally, when you say I'm a coach, then you don't attract any legal binding on having a psychology degree. But if you have interest in psychology, you must read. It is definitely an advantage, right? Yes, Vijaya, you please ask now.
So, I have a query about a parent. Both the parents, like husband and wife, they are managers in some company. Okay, so they are very calculative according to their personality. The child, they had a question related to the child, and I did D1 DMIT. So when I came to know, like the child is very good at linguistic. Now she speaks like 8th standard girl. Now she's in 4th standard, but her vocabulary, how she speaks, the fluency is so very good. Like even the parents and others, even the school authorities are also surprised. Now the question is, the parent is having like also has a eagle personality. Okay, so I have made them understand, the parents, but still they keep on messaging saying that they are facing a lot of challenges, like in a school, if anyone buys something and she demands at home. Okay, so that is very common. Okay, so making the parent is very difficult to task for me, first of all. The second thing is that, so they keep her very much grounded, though they have very good house, they have a bungalow, but yes, they bring her so that she's content, and they bring her in a two-wheeler and drop her, and she starts demanding according to the schoolmates, like whatever she has. So she bought that, even I want this. So how to tackle with this, like how to make them? And another thing is that if it is a winning edge, she has a very good caliber. So if she loses in that, she loses complete interest. So how to tackle this side?
What you are telling me is a complete case, and you're just giving me symptoms. I can't help you until I know the case, right? You know the assessment, you have everything, but the point over here is knowing about the child is different, which you already did through an assessment. Now it is time to have the right practices of coaching, which is very important. When you tell a parent who your child is, they know, they validate what you told is right. But the most important thing is, like, if the child is dominant, then how to raise a dominant. You have to give them a step-by-step action plan, how to manage their tantrums. You need to make them understand the concept of conditioning and reconditioning, and what are the caveats of reconditioning. Then only they will be able to get rid of tantrums. If you haven't told, only saying that you have to be firm, they will fail. For sure they will. So you are an expert when it comes to assessment. Now you have to grow with coaching practices. Because today parent wants foolproof plan. If I do this, and if this happens, then what I should do. And that differentiates. I mean, this is what I want to highlight. If I give you a parenting tip, it's different from a parenting strategy. Tips are always incomplete, and what happens sometimes when you don't give step-by-step solutions to them, they will not be able to apply it. Understood? You told them, okay, if your child is demanding something, start saying no. They can't, because they have already done wrong behavioral conditioning of child. And until they know the concept of reconditioning and how to recondition and what are the caveats of reconditioning, believe me, they will not be able to. They can't say no to the child, because child knows how to convert their no into yes. Child knows the moment I roll over the floor, they will convert their no into yes. So this case requires thorough detail. What you told me is just a brief of it, and that's how we don't help cases. But I want to tell you, there are many ways where this parent need help. It's not only information about child, they need resolve to tantrum, they need to learn how to manage tantrum, they need to be trained on the concept of delayed gratification, how to have consensus at home, then how to make them independent, how to have a broader perspective to see the child. Many are. That is why they need regular coaching intervention from you. That is why they're coming back to you, because only one single intervention can't help them. They will keep failing, they will keep coming back to you. and that's where you have an opportunity to earn out of it. But definitely you have to have solutions in it.
Fine, sir.
As a coach.
So hope your deep parenting complete coaching will help me.
Absolutely, that's what we do. That's what our expertise is, and now we are doing it from last 8.5 years. Right?
Okay, sir.
Yes, Devsmita.
Yeah, I just had a little query on the thing which you said that do we really need a kind of certification if we are at all interested to become a parental coach, or is there any kind of, like, suppose I have been doing it as a passion, and very now and often I consult and discuss with parents, just about the problems which they share with me, but many a times I come across that they are they try to tell me that it's better you talk to our child rather than giving us a kind of a counseling or giving us a kind of advice, because we have already taken our life, so you take care of if you want, you can teach the child better. So I was just wondering, like, to become more professionally.
If you do so, then you're not acting as a parental coach. And the moment you start doing their jobs on their behalf, then you are acting as an extended parent to family rather than a parent coach. And that's where professionalism helps you. Even if that's what I told you, even if you're doing it out of your profession, right? You're this. Now you will have a structured approach. You will have all the tools and you will have all the perspectives, right? When you get into a complete program, that's what I can tell you. Rest is absolutely your call. It's not mandatory that you need to have certification, but at least you need to have all the professional tools with you. You have to have thorough perspective. Only one perspective may not help you. Why not to have more perspectives, right? If you're going to opt it as a career. Any other query you have? Anyone?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Sir, these days we often see a lot of counselors in the schools. Schools have a lot of counselors. Then everywhere, agar koi bhi problem hai, go to the counselor. So what is the difference between parent coach and a counselor?
We'll be discussing tomorrow. I'll be sharing when we'll talk about coaching. This will be clear to you how counselors are different from coaches. And in mental health zone, there are different professions. Education counselors are different from clinical psychologists, right? So each domain, even career counselors are different from parental counselors, parental coaches. Each domain is different. And when it comes to parental coaching, this subject, parenting, is not yet taught in any psychology class. Those who are degree holders in psychology, they have their own expertise, even in counseling psychology or education counseling or clinical counseling, clinical psychology, or cognitive therapists are there, behavioral therapists are there. Their core zone is different. Even doctorates, those who are having expertise in one domain, this subject may haven't yet been taught in a classroom. This collection which we are sharing with you, it's a collection of multiple perspectives, which been gifted to us through this association. Because we are an association, everybody contributes. So we have a lot of new perspectives, structured strategies, right? And if you studied psychology, it will definitely, you will resonate with those principles. But how those principles need to be applied in parenting, that's what is different in this, right? All set?
Yeah, thank you.
Chalo, good. So we will resume this discussion, and most of the questions will be answered by third day, and we'll be now meeting tomorrow. And I hope the discussion which we had, the communication, the flow is understandable to all, because we come from different communications. Language is understandable.
Yes.
This means I can continue with the same flow, with the same language, if it is understandable to all. Done?
Yes.
Good to see you all, and I expect you to see tomorrow. If you open up your videos, that will be great. Then it will be quite encouraging for me as well, right? So see you tomorrow at same time. 7 o'clock we'll meet, because today we met a bit early. Tomorrow we'll meet at 7 o'clock. See ya. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.